Okay, there's a question. What is real? Somebody sent this in. So here's what I understand to be the answer to that question. In order for something to be real, it must have clearly defined edges. In other words, it mustn't bleed or fade into something else. It must have clearly defined edges to distinguish it as a thing, as a real thing. And of course, nothing that exists, no object that exists, has clearly defined edges. When we use a microscope and go right down into it, what we see is that there's no edge. It's just millions of billions of molecules without a defined edge. The second thing is, for something to be real, it has to be totally independent of anything else. It has to be independent, self-sustained. Because if it depended on something else, then it wouldn't be real. It wouldn't be a thing. To be real, it can't be part of a process. It can't change. Now, we know that every single thing that exists changes all the time. There is nothing that's static. But for something to be real, it must have no component parts, and it must not change, and it must be independent. So everything that exists as we know it is dependent on something else. Me talking here now is dependent on an infinity of things that had to be in place in order for me to get here to do this. Incalculable number of things. One element, me talking now, is one element in just an infinite process of causality, all of it interdependent, all of it codependent, and all of it dreamlike. We would say that the elements in a dream, a sleep dream, are not real, wouldn't we? They appear as real. In your dream, the mountain appears to be 4 billion years old. In your dream, you go with a little hammer, you chip away, you take a chunk. In the dream, you take it to the laboratory, you have a look, you go, oh yes, this is 4 billion years old. But actually, it's just an appearance in your mind. The appearance of solidity was there in the dream, but not in actuality. The appearance of its age was there, but not in actuality. When you woke up, you realized that that dream, that mountain had in fact spontaneously arisen as a 4 billion year old mountain in your dream. It wasn't in your mind for 4 billion years growing into a mountain so that you could perceive it at that moment as a 4 billion year old mountain. No, it came spontaneously, instantaneously out of nothing. Why? Because it's not actually real. It's an appearance. So, given the criteria of what is real, we come to the understanding that nothing is real. There's nothing that has those qualities. There's nothing that has an edge. There's nothing that is completely independent. There's nothing that's not part of a process. There's nothing that's not linked into everything else. There's nothing that doesn't change. There's nothing that doesn't have component parts. Now, where it gets really interesting is that if it's true in our sleep dreams, things appear to be old but are in fact spontaneously arising, what the great realized ones have said, the Buddhas, is that it is the same here. Things appear solid, yet they're not. Things appear to have been, there appears to be vast amounts of time. But they say it's all spontaneously arising. And quantum physics is hovering at that door. It's exactly like a sleep dream. So real, what is real? Real is that thing that doesn't change. Awareness, like the sky. The sky doesn't change. It holds everything that exists. All the galaxies, the universes, the stars, the moon, the clouds, and all the weather. But nothing that's ever happened in the sky has changed it. The sky has no qualities. The sky cannot be cut up into chunks. There's nowhere where the sky isn't. The sky is equally everywhere. Sky-like awareness is the same. Unchanging, can't be grasped, everywhere equally, not evolving. Consciousness may evolve or appear to evolve. Awareness not. Just is like the sky. On another level, there was a great master, and he said, someone asked him what's real. He said, look, one thing is real. Your thirst to know. That's real. I kind of like that. So I hope this answers your question.